If your ex wants their stuff back after moving out, that's awkward. But imagine if the stuff in question isn't just a box of old clothes or a favorite mug, but a sprawling, heavily fortified military base halfway around the world. Now that's a whole new level of complicated. It's not just about who gets the couch or the blender, it's about who controls a symbol of power, strategy, and history, with the eyes of the world watching every move. If your ex-president wants a military base back, that's international drama. And not just any base, Bagram Air Base, the crown jewel of U.S. operations in Afghanistan for nearly 20 years. It's the kind of place that's seen more history, strategy, and late-night negotiations than most capitals. For 2 decades, Bagram wasn't just a military outpost. It was the beating heart of America's presence in the region, a place where decisions were made that shaped the fate of millions. Back in 2021, the U.S. packed up and left Afghanistan overnight. It was a withdrawal that made headlines around the world, with images of convoys rolling out under the cover of darkness, leaving behind a base that had once been the nerve center of America's longest war. The departure was sudden, almost surreal, and for many it felt like the end of an era. Soldiers who had called Bagram home for years were gone in a flash, and the silence that followed was deafening. The Taliban moved in and took over Bagram, the massive airbase the U.S. built up for 2 decades. In a matter of hours, the keys to one of the most strategic pieces of real estate in Central Asia changed hands, not through negotiation, but by sheer presence. The world watched as the Taliban, once hunted and bombed from this very runway, now strolled through its gates, claiming it as their own. Fast forward to September 2025, Donald Trump, never one to let things go quietly, publicly demands the Taliban hand Bagram back to the U.S. He's not just making noise at a rally, he's igniting a global debate about power, pride, and the legacy of America's longest war. Trump's words echo far beyond the crowd, stirring up old wounds and new questions about what it means to win, lose, or simply walk away. The world watches as Trump's demand becomes a trending topic, sparking heated arguments on cable news and social media. Some see it as a bold move to reclaim lost ground, others as a diplomatic disaster in the making. The debate isn't just about military strategy, it's about national pride, the cost of intervention, and whether history can ever be reversed with a single demand. He even hints at bad things if they don't. The message is clear: the U.S. wants Bagram back, and Trump is willing to rattle some cages to get it. But what does bad things mean in the world of international politics? Sanctions, military threats, or just more tough talk? The ambiguity is intentional, keeping both allies and adversaries guessing about what might come next. Spoiler: the Taliban wasn't having it. They're not just holding the base, they're making a statement. For them, Bagram is more than a military asset. It's a symbol of victory, independence, and the end of foreign occupation. The sight of Taliban flags flying over Bagram sends a message to the world. Afghanistan is under new management, and the old rules no longer apply. Their response? A hard no, with a side of please read the fine print on the Doha Agreement. The Taliban spokesperson steps up to the mic, calmly reminding the world that the U.S. signed a deal, packed up, and left. There's no clause for just kidding, we want it back. The message is delivered with a mix of defiance and legalese, as if to say, you had your chance and now the page is turned. They called it a matter of sovereignty and reminded everyone, Afghanistan isn't a rental property. The message is blunt. The era of foreign control is over, and the keys to Bagram aren't up for negotiation. For the Taliban, holding Bagram is proof that they've reclaimed their country, and they're not about to let go of that proof for anything. The contrast couldn't be starker. Where once American soldiers patrolled, now Taliban fighters stand guard. The base has become a symbol of shifting power and a reminder that history doesn't always move in straight lines. The images of U.S. flags being replaced by Taliban banners are more than just optics. They're a visual record of how quickly fortunes can change in global politics. So why does this matter? Why is everyone so obsessed with who controls a patch of land in the middle of Afghanistan? The answer goes beyond military hardware or runways. It's about influence, leverage, and the ability to shape events far beyond the base's perimeter. Trump says Bagram is just an hour from China's nuclear sites, so it's prime real estate. In the world of geopolitics, location is everything. Whoever holds Bagram holds a front row seat to some of the world's most sensitive borders. It's not just about Afghanistan, it's about the balance of power in a region where every inch of ground can tip the scales. Military strategists have long argued that Bagram is a launchpad for influence, intelligence, and rapid response. Losing it wasn't just about territory, it was about losing a critical advantage in a region where every move is watched by rivals like China, Russia, and Iran. The base's runways, hangars, and surveillance equipment once gave the U.S. a unique edge, and now, that edge is gone. But this standoff shows, once you leave, it's not so easy to come back. The world doesn't hit pause just because you want a do-over. Power vacuums get filled, and the new tenants don't always want to hand over the keys. The lesson is clear. In geopolitics, timing is everything, and opportunities lost are rarely regained without a fight. So, who really holds the power here? The ex-landlord with a loud voice, or the new tenant with boots on the ground and the keys in hand? It's a question that goes beyond Afghanistan, echoing in every place where empires rise and fall. The struggle for Bagram is a microcosm of a much bigger story, the endless tug-of-war between those who want to shape the world and those who refuse to be shaped by it. Let me know what you think. Could the U.S. ever get its influence back in Afghanistan? Or is this the final chapter in a story that's been playing out for decades? Is there a path back to the days when America called the shots, or has the world moved on for good? Your thoughts matter. History is still being written, and every opinion adds a new line to the story. Hit subscribe for more global politics stories. The world is changing fast, and sometimes the biggest battles aren't fought with bullets, but with words, symbols, and the struggle for control over places like Bagram. Stay tuned, because in the world of international power plays, the next chapter is always just around the corner.